through my veins. On the pitch where the glory remains, the cockerel stands brave on the crest. North London pride, this ain't no jest. From lane to the new shining ground, echo chants where the legends are found. Heroes carved in the heart of time, we march on through grit and grime. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Oh Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. Echoes of King and Greaves in the air. Every goal, the sound declares. Heartbeats pound like a drummer's song, marching forward, fierce and strong. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. Oh, I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire. We're the ones who rise in the clash. Numbers running in a white shirt dash. History burns in the roaring crowd. Every game we scream it loud. I'm Tottenham, Tottenham till I die. Raise the banner, let it fly. Through the rain, through the fire, this is my club, my only desire.
Yes, guys. Hang on. Let me bring in Danny there. Yes, guys. Welcome to THFC Till I Die, your home at Tottenham past, present, and the exciting future course under Thomas Frank as he brings us to glory, as he marches us to the promised land 2 by 2, like Moses did with the elephants and the monkeys and the giraffes and everything else. It wasn't Moses. It was
Noah.
who was it? Noah. See? Even
Yeah.
got that wrong. Yeah. But anyway, joining me tonight, of course, are my usual co-host, my usual Simon Jordan, the man who used to own the football club. You're right there, Simon, down the bottom there.
Just around me.
Yeah, he's turned into Ange Postecoglou tonight for some reason. The man to the left of me thinks he's the new Jonathan Pearce of commentary and thinks that he could do a better job than John Motson and Barry Davis ever did. It's Big James. How are you, James?
I'm good, Dermo. Thank you very much.
I've been
Thank you.
practicing on these, by the way. I've written all these down. What to say
You're
tonight.
getting better. You're getting better. You're getting better.
And down below, of course, is the only Donny fan who thinks that Donny will win the league, do the treble this season. It is Danny from Donny. How are you, Danny, this evening?
Yeah, I'm very well, thank you, Damo. Good to see you here. Good to be on the show. Mr. Mellor, hope you're well.
A pleasure.
Good,
to
thank
have
you.
here. And the bottom one, the last one I just made up in the top of my head. So yes, James, I am getting better.
Yeah.
I want to say big up. I did member shows. James and Demo, you're cancelled. Fair enough.
He called someone Simon. Irvin's getting confused. Who's Simon?
Yeah.
Am I Simon?
You're Simon Jordan, Dan.
Yeah, but he already said hello to me, so he's said hello to me twice. Cheers, mate.
Yeah.
He said hi, Dermo, Tequila, James, Simon, and everyone in the chat.
James replaced you. Apparently, I'm no longer owner of my own channel. James has now took over. He's done a hostile takeover. So the name of the show really should be is Dermo still in THFC till I die? Or
Yeah.
has he gone? That should be the name, but it
Yeah.
not Look, guys, I want to welcome you all in. Big up. Very much pinned at the top of the chat. We have created an Instagram page today. So that's now up and running. So do get over and click over there. We are going to put videos up on Instagram and also as well as TikTok. If you can follow us on there, follow us on X as well and get your memberships. We're only 11 away from 2,200. Let's get there before Wolves tomorrow night. Let's make James's night by doing that. Let's make Tequila's night. Well, Tequila would, I think the make Tequila's night would be Ange Postecoglou to get the sack and Tottenham.
No, mate. I'm loving what's happening with Forest. To be fair, at least you got to draw at Betis. Much to James's
much to my goddamn annoyance, mind you. Much to my annoyance.
So what you're telling me, Tequila, is you've now become an Ange fan?
Yeah, just to get revenge because we can get a player from Forest. So this is our revenge on Marinakis. We saddled him with Ange. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, there is the link there, guys. Do follow us on there. A lot of content will be going up there as well. Big up to Giant68. Said big up Dermo, James, Tequila, and Danny. Big up to you, Giant. Big up to Erwin as well. Hope you and the wife and the little one are doing well, bud. Says hi, Dermot, Tequila, James, Simon, and everyone in the chat. Hope you all keeping well. Big up to Jared O'Connor as well. Big up, Jared. He says, Dermo, you're cancelled. James has replaced you. Fair enough. Demo, you may go to RTE now. Yeah, I'm taking over the late show.
I'm sorry, Demo. We cashed in for a younger model, mate. It's nothing personal.
Yeah, I see. You see, younger, better looking. Fans love me.
Yeah, we just get rid of him. That's all we have to do.
Demo, that power play there. Yeah.
Is he?
It's all right because I can do the same as well. Look, you see, so it don't really matter.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to stay down the bottom. I know where I am. Big up to Jared.
I'm
taking over the late show. Which is like a late show's been running for 60 years over here. It's like a chat show, and over here we just don't cancel our hosts. Make of that what you will. Yeah. I thought it was quite good to say. Big up to Aaron. He says, howdy, Danny. And then big up to the Iceman. He says, big up to Dermo, James, Tequila, and Danny. Big up to you. Guys, right, let's start with Donny. I said a bit of it in the members show. I did watch the highlights. Big up to you two doing a fantastic watch along, by the way. Absolutely brilliant. Tequila, big up to you, keeping us updated with all the scores from around the grounds. Brought me back to the around the grounds days when we used to run that on this channel. Something I might bring back, actually. You're very much like the old fella on Sky Sports.
Oh, whoa. Let's not get carried away. I'm not. I couldn't. I should have been like the BBC guy. You know the dull voice he had.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wolverhampton Wanderers won. What the hell happened?
But they were good old days, them. I remember them days, and it was
back in those teletext days.
Yeah.
Do you remember refreshing teletext every time, just trying to get the latest score?
Yeah.
I wanted to start with Danny from a Donny point of view. How did you think you played on Wednesday, Danny? And did you bring a full house down with you?
We knew we wasn't gonna come away with a win. I think that was written inside. We knew, we was confident we was gonna put a performance on, but I think it'd have been a miracle for us to win. And as soon as I saw the Spurs lineup, I thought, here we go. They've not gone light, really, have they? There's a couple of people like Kinski that came into goal, and Kevin Danzo and things like that started at centre half. But for quite a strong Spurs side, I think that we held our own in a sense. I think that the first 20 minutes of the first half, we was good. You're probably going to think you was 2-0 down inside 20 minutes. But yeah, I still think that we put up a good account of ourselves. We did what we had to do. We was attacking from the front foot. And that's what we've seen a lot of in League One this year. For attacking from the off and we're starting foot on it, we seem to perform a lot better. Like I said, I was impressed with the performance, even though we lost. We can come away with quite a positive how we played, and I just think that Tottenham, they just look so good. It was my first time down at Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, but no, I think it was really impressive, really impressive. I think seeing the likes of Javi Simmons against Doncaster Rovers. He probably never thought he'd play against them. He probably didn't even know who they were when he was at RB Leipzig. But no, overall, I think that Donny held himself well. I think the second half was much better than the first. And I think that in the first half, we had a couple of chances. There was one from Olasanya, who we've just brought in from Houston Dynamo on a season-long loan. And I think I've spoke to James about this already. If that had gone in, chances are that could have probably turned the game and put you guys under a little bit of pressure. And there was a few chances, that we could have done better with. But no, like I said, to score two, for us to concede two that Spurs have put in the back of the net themselves, I'd take that all day long. The second goal was an own goal from Jay McGrath, who was a young Donny lad who's come through Donny Academy and everything like that. These things happen. Own goals you can't really do that much about. But no, I feel like we give a really good account of ourselves. We wanted it. We was fired up. And I think that was down to the atmosphere, and playing at a beautiful stadium like that you've got. I feel like we sort of took advantage of that, because we covered all the grass. We ran for 90 minutes. It was just towards 75 to 80, 85 probably onwards from there that we ran out of steam. And that's when you boys kicked into second gear, and I had to laugh to myself when we brought Luke Molyneux on and Jordan Gibson. And then you look to the bench that Thomas Frank's putting on, and you've got Rich Arlison, who's a £65 million signing. And
well, we have disagreements on Rich Arlison on this channel.
Danny, mate, they missed a decimal point. It's a 6.5 million striker.
Sorry, 65.5 million.
Yeah. No. 6.5 million. That's what we're saying we'd probably get for him if we sold him. We'd barely get a bloody sniff. What did you think of the ground then, Dan? Coming down, obviously, I've been to Keepmoat Stadium. It's a lovely stadium, is the Keepmoat Stadium. But what did you think? Yeah, we have. What did you think to the Tottenham Stadium? Like, you walk up, the actual atmosphere of the ground. What did you think of it?
Oh, it was outstanding. It was one of them where it's given me goosebumps thinking about it now, to be honest. It's one of them stadiums where you can just feel the love and the passion for Tottenham, and walking up to the ground wasn't the most safest environments I've walked through, if I'm honest. But no, you walk into the stadium, you walk into the concourse, and then you walk up the steps, and then you're in the ground itself, and you just think, wow, this is a £1 billion stadium, and I'm lucky to be sat here, because it would be probably a one-off occasion that I would ever do this, unless I can drop onto any tickets anywhere or anything like that. But no, like I said, fantastic stadium, and overall a good performance from both sides, and like I've already mentioned, I could be sat here now crying into a cup of tea saying how poor Donny was, but no, they put up a good fight against you boys, and the atmosphere, it wasn't as full. I think there was 42,500 there, but I can imagine on a Premier League game, when it's absolutely bouncing, the atmosphere.
It is.
I can imagine it's a lot more sensational than how I witnessed it. But no, it was nice to be there, be in the ground, be in a Premier League ground, and see the likes of some superstars, that you wouldn't really see unless you sign them on FIFA and you're happy, or you see them on Sky Sports, that kind of thing. So, but no, it was really good atmosphere. Really enjoyed it. Spoke to James already. I said I'd love to go back if given the opportunity to do so as a neutral. But no, really, really impressive. Really impressive.
Well, that can be, if you get James to reach out to me, I've got a Hotspur One membership with a plus, so let me know and I'll try to sort you out.
We'll see if we can get some tickets.
Yeah. No, I'll look forward to that. Wear my Doncaster jacket though. I'll have to borrow one of James's top shirts, I think.
Yeah, definitely.
For us, I know we've got Newcastle away in the next round. I think that's not a bad draw for us, actually, to be fair. I'd rather get these big teams out early. So I wonder one word answer on this, really, before we move on to the main story, which is about Spurs about to be taken over, which we're really going to get our teeth into. Can we win can we beat Newcastle and win the League Cup? Yes or no? Tequila, can we?
Can, yeah, will we? Probably not.
Fair enough. James?
I'm gonna have to side with Tequila on this one. Yes, we can. Anything is possible, but there's big teams still left in there.
For me, it's yes we can and yes we will. 100% we can win it. No, we fear.
Yeah, but you use the word can. Can is different.
Yeah.
Can we go to a Newcastle
Okay,
win? Yeah.
Let me rephrase.
Remember our last couple of trips to Newcastle, Dermo? I know we want to block these from our minds, right?
Oh shit! Yeah, thanks.
Yeah.
I remember a couple of seasons ago, last game of the season, and absolutely being turned over like a pancake.
We've been hammered up there quite a few times. Well, the last couple of times.
I don't know you remember Tequila, but I know me and James probably with the 7-1 dropping we got on the Jerry Francis.
Yeah, I remember that one.
Touching bases on that from somebody that's an outside community of the Tottenham Hotspur fan base. I think
you're now an adopted Spurs fan, by the way, Danny.
Yeah, you are, Danny. Yeah, you get given an honorary membership.
Yeah,
from an outsider's point of view, as we'll say. I think under Thomas Frank, I've already touched base on this with James. I feel that you look a lot more established and you look like a real Tottenham Hotspur team should look like. And you can see why he gets linked with quite a few jobs, just with how he's got the defence playing really well. And was it 4 clean sheets on the spin that he kept?
Yeah.
And just some of the signings that you've brought in and things like that. I just think that there's a real positive mojo around the Tottenham Hotspur camp at the minute. Like, obviously, you boys know your club a lot better than I do. But are you happy with the Thomas Frank appointment? Do you feel like it's going to go in the right direction?
I am. I wanted him in. Sorry, James, just very quickly. I wanted him in before Ange Postecoglou got the job. And look, I'm a massive Celtic fan, so I was pleased when Ange came in. And boy, did that manager give me hell for 2 years. And I tried defending him. I really did. I wish I never bothered now, but I tried.
It's one of them where I think the job was too big for him. I think the job was too big for him. Like no disrespect to Celtic, like I've touched bases on already. I follow any football, anything from Premier League to National League. I'll watch it. But he seemed out of his depth. And now that he's been appointed at Forest, you've just got to think, how long is it going to be before he falls out for a press member? And I feel like that's where it does go wrong. And touching back to when you had Antonio Conte as well, when he had that hoo-ha handbags on the sideline with Thomas Tuchel. I feel like that was the start of a slippery slope where a club like Tottenham Hotspur, they're not going to stand for that sort of behaviour.
No, agreed, Danny. I mean, with Ange, I think you're very, very right in what you're saying about with Ange. He was kind of out of his depth with Tottenham, and I think it'll get exposed at Nottingham Forest as well. I don't think he's a Premier League manager. Me and Dermo, we both tried to defend him. Now, I've made my views very public on the shows that we've done. Dermo and Tequila will turn around and say, yeah, you did. I didn't think Thomas Frank was... we weren't aiming high enough for Tottenham as a manager. I didn't think it was the right appointment. I thought we should have, certainly with some of the names that were being thrown around who we were linked with. But I'm sat here eating a bit of humble pie. I certainly think he's done a sterling job since he's come in. I can't say Thomas Frank can take credit for the signings because I know how the sort of the background of the club works. However, I do think he would have demanded players when he took the job. But yeah, I mean, I think he's got us defensively a bit more stable.
Definitely. Seen that.
And it's just a case now we're trying to getting the team to play well together so we look like an attacking threat as well as a solid defensive team as well, because it's all well and good being solidly defensive, but you're never going to win games unless you score goals.
No, definitely not. And I touched bases on earlier. I'm a big fan of Xavi Simons. Sorry to cut you off there, Dermo. Xavi Simons, I think, is sensational. I think Brennan Johnson's a sensational player. I'll hold my hands up. I am a big fan of Mickey van der Ven. I think he's absolutely quality.
Yeah.
And I just think as well that from a Doncaster Rovers fan, can I point, that you've allowed us to have, me and James have had this conversation. We've got Damola Ajayi on loan, on a season-long loan. And Like, I was unsure about him. I'd heard the name, but I wasn't 100% sure on who he is.
You asked me about him, didn't you? You asked me about him.
And I spoke to James, and I just said, we've been linked with Damola Jai. Can you tell me much about him? And what was the words that you said, James?
I said, you're getting a quality winger. He'll tear League One apart.
And we can see that, and it was nice for the Spurs, for him to play against his parent club, and how when I was there, I noticed that if he did something well for Doncaster, the Tottenham fans were applauding it as well. You don't normally get that at all. When talking about another club, you look at Marco Asensio. He played for Villa on loan last year, and they played PSG in the Champions League, and was allowed to play against his former club, his parent club. So it's nice to see that sort of thing happen, because you don't really see that very often.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Tequila, what's your thoughts on Thomas Frank? I mean, look, James is right. He's made this more defensively sound. We have no strikers, as Gerard said in the chat, and that is the truth. You, me have both. We're three of us have both said about it. Yeah. Why do you believe that Thomas Frank is the man before the man, or could Thomas Frank be the man, Tequila?
Well, I don't. I think for me, this is for me, who doesn't feel the need to say that I was wrong about Ange. I think I was right about Ange after about a year. I didn't, for the record, I didn't dislike him to start with. The first year, I was quite off his back. It wasn't until the second season where I started seeing the chinks, and then I heard the lies he was telling me. That's when I personally lost all respect for the man.
Yeah.
And then it was downhill from there for me. But I think this shows, to me anyway, just how bad a manager he is. And I still class him as the worst in the league, probably manager Spurs have had in the league. Of course, he won a cup. So that means that in the cups, as I said to James the other day, I think Ange does pretty well in the cups. Why?
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't got that answer for you. All I can tell you is, and I think it's to do with the quality of the opposition's manager as well, with all due respect to some of the teams he played in Europa. Okay? I think he's up against the top tier managers. I think he was found out, my opinion. After Eddie Howe taught him a lesson. We all remember that Newcastle match.
Yeah.
He showed the world, if anyone needed to know, the blueprint how to beat Spurs, and you couldn't change that. Everyone used it.
Yeah.
And we were ever since that Newcastle defeat, most teams wiped the floor with us in the league. So for me, that just says that Thomas Frank is a decent manager, but I don't need to go further than that, because for me, all I really wanted was an upgrade on Ange. So I am not over the. I don't think Thomas Frank is this amazing manager. I don't. I think he's decent. I think he's quite steady, and I think steady is enough for this season. But what's happened is, because of this, Levy's gone now. I don't think, in all honesty, we should be giving Thomas Frank, as Iceman put in the chat earlier. I'm not sure about the figures, but if we were crazy enough to spend 1 billion, as Iceman's put, I wouldn't want Thomas Frank spending that money. With all due respect, I would be like, Conte, you want to come back, mate? I'm giving you an example there of a top class manager to be spending that money. You give someone like Conte 1 billion, do you think he wins the league? Most likely.
But would you want? I wouldn't want Conte back.
Yes, I would, because I would, because I believe everybody said, and I have mad respect for how he talked down to Levy, because he was the voice of the voiceless for a lot of us. Anti-Levy. Now, I didn't like his football, so I wouldn't want him back for the football reason. But if all we care about is winning, then that type of a manager is who I want to be spending $1 billion. So it could be that Thomas Frank, which is not his fault, could actually be wrong time, wrong man, wrong time.
I'll tell you who I would like. I don't know if he'll return to football management, and certainly returning to the Premier League after he left. I'd love Jurgen Klopp. I think you give Jurgen Klopp £1 billion and he changes Tottenham forever.
Do you know what? That wouldn't be out of the times of responsibility for that. If you know what I'm trying to say, probably got that wrong.
Out of the realms of possibility.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Jimbo.
It would take that much money. It would take crazy money, I think, to get Klopp to agree. But money talks in the end for most people. It's the way of the world.
It does. Look, we are talking about money. Yeah, go on, Danny.
You mentioned that there was quite a few.
No, we wouldn't take Grant McCann. We wouldn't take Grant McCann from you, mate. Don't worry.
I don't think he'd move down there, mate. I don't think he'd move down that end. Not on that road in, anyway. Who was the managers that that you was linked with before Frank got appointed? Because obviously you mentioned there was quite a few names getting branded.
So there was the PSG manager.
Lucas and that.
Enrique,
wasn't it?
Enrique was tipped.
Yeah.
The guy who left Leverkusen before what's his face went in and got him sacked.
Xavier Alonso.
Yes.
Yeah.
He would have been a great. He would have been a great.
I'm going to put one out there. I think could do a really good job, but I think there'd be a bit of hate between it. But Thomas Tuchel.
No way. No.
I think he would. I don't know why. There's just something. I know, obviously, the connection with Chelsea.
He's just Spurs manager, Spurs fan. Apparently, that's a funny thing.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Talking about managers and potential managers, Thomas Frank, as Iceman said, I am bringing this up because it does bring us on to what the main topic of the show is. So what I'm hearing is this takeover happens, Frank has over $1 billion to spend. Also, 5 years ago, my uncle, who was an Arsenal fan, who died 5 years ago. Well, firstly, our sympathies on that, Iceman. Said to me, 26-27, Tottenham will win the league. Look, we had this news break last night that some American tech genius had apparently put an offer with the consortium, $4.5 billion. It was 3.3 billion takeover plus 1.2 billion for players. Now it broke on the Sun, and I think a few people have sort of dissed it. But I was speaking to somebody today that said that the reporter who broke the news is very credible. He doesn't break stories like this for the sheer hell of it. Now, we know James has got the latest because he's got his own sources as well as we have. Now, for legal terms, I can't say anything. I can neither confirm or deny a bid has been put in or not put in. I can neither confirm or deny that Tottenham will be taken over unless I get the green light from my man. Before I get to you, James, and then Danny, just very quickly, Tequila, you're very much Levy out. You're very much Levy's gone. I've said to you on many shows that I want Lewis family to show me in January that they mean business. You're quite prepared to give them 2 years. But I'm not happy with, I don't want an American taking us over. I'd rather have a Qatari take us over. A, because I don't want it being linked to an NFL style takeover, which it probably will be. B, they're not going to give a shit about our club. They're only going to care about is the NFL. And the way, no disrespect, the way the American, what's been done in America, I don't want it being linked to my club being linked to it. Give me a Qatari takeover or let the Lewis family stay there. So where you want it to keep.
You're opening up a little bit of a can of worms, and I don't know if you want to take the conversation in this direction because it involves politics and stuff like that and human rights and all stuff like that. I don't think we really want to go down that rabbit hole. But if you really are going to say that you think that the Americans are worse than the Qataris and those kind of human rights, then I have to.
No, it's not human rights. It's more that they don't care about the sports teams over there. It's all about business for them. It's not about.
Yeah, but don't you think that it would be the same for the Qatari? All they care about is getting their brand over. Their brand is their country, just like the other oil barons have done.
Yeah,
the other state owned. I mean, is there a difference really? I think one's worse than the other, but this is just, as I say, this is politics, and I don't know if you want to open that door.
No, but I don't like the NFL style takeover. That's what I don't want of our football club. It's not my football club. It's our football club. That's why I prefer as a Saudi takeover, because at least all they want to do is make sure the football team's going to win on the pitch, win trophies, be successful. You look what's happening at Chelsea. They've been run by a consortium for America, and it looks like a madhouse. They've bought so many players.
You say that about the Americans, though, but I mean, the Americans, Kroenke, he owned, I don't know if he still does, but he used to own a NFL team. And he has actually been okay for Arsenal. I mean, not at the beginning, they had a problem with him, but he's generally left it alone. I think his son or something he does most of it nowadays.
Yeah.
Or one of his family members. And they've had good investment. Aston Villa have had good investment. Maybe not last summer because they've hit FFP and stuff, but they did have investment. And I was about to get to them next. And the big ones are Liverpool, who have got American owners. So I understand your trepidation.
Well, all they've got to do is look at Manchester United. Look what the
this is
American
what I mean. Yeah. But so no matter who you kind of, no matter where they come from in the country, I think you're rolling the dice anyway. And as for ENIC, I don't really believe them. I don't believe ENIC. I think ENIC haven't changed just because the man at the front might have gone his own ways. I don't think it's going to make that much of a difference. But I am prepared, as you said, to give them a bit of time. But I would rather start anew. That would be my preferred choice. I'd go with the Americans over Qatar. But that's just my personal politics involved.
Do you know what? I think if you ask me, honestly, I probably would agree with you, but I just don't want us to become a joke like Chelsea's become. That's my biggest fear. Before I get to you, Danny, James, what's your thought on this? You look at Manchester United and what the Glazers have done there. You look at Liverpool's owners. There is two. Every owner's different. What would be the tipping point for you? I agree with Tequila. It's very hard when you're talking about ownerships, and very hard talking about ownerships and people coming in that you're not going to stray into some area you don't want to stray into, and I get that. And it's very hard. It's a balancing act to navigate, and Tequila did it absolutely brilliantly, better than I did. But are you more on the side of me where you don't want an American owner, or you're on the side of Tequila? Look, not all of them are bad.
It's a tricky one to answer that, really, because I mean, I'm like you, Dermo. I've been a Spurs fan, and Tequila's been a Spurs fan for many years as well. But we remember Spurs when we were the joke of the English pyramid, of the English league,
when we nearly went
Premier
out of
League.
business completely.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think I've said it before. I really don't mind who owns us, as long as they don't forget what our DNA is. What is Tottenham's DNA? Look, I would prefer somebody to come in who's obviously going to throw money at the club, and not be as tight-fisted with the money. But if that's going to be done, it's got to be done in a way that's not going to jeopardize the club in the future. It's all very well and good saying, okay, we'll come in, we'll buy the club, and we'll chuck £1 billion into the transfer kitty in January. If this newspaper rumours are to be believed, and what they're saying is to be believed, and they come in, they take over the club, and they chuck £1 billion into the transfer kit and say, right, go out and buy whoever you want, you've got the money. That's all very well and good. But what does that mean for Spurs in the summer, in the following January, in the following years? Because we all know how PSR works. If you're a big club, you get away with blue murder. And I literally mean blue murder.
Man City.
If you're a smaller club, you get slapped around by FIFA and everybody else and UEFA, and you get stung and stung and stung and stung until there's nothing, you can't do anything. Your hands are tied and you're tied up for 2 or 3 years. And I don't want that to happen, because that's when, yes, you make a step forward one season, but then for 2-3 seasons afterwards, you stagnate, and then every other club moves around you and above you again.
I just want a very quick question. I'm just sorry, James, don't mean to cut across it. I just, because I'm time is limited, I want to get these questions in my head out. I go to you next, Danny, in a minute. I just want to ask Tequila a quick question then, because James made a very good point about stagnation and clubs getting away with blue murder.
Can I just interrupt you there, then? I've got a few commitments now that I need to do. So,
Okay.
So I'll be back on next week if you want me to. And
Thank you very much for coming on.
Back on, bud.
All right, mate.
Yeah,
Thank you very much for coming on, Danny.
Yeah,
take care.
we tried to
Cheers,
get you.
boys.
We tried to get you on every Friday, if we can.
Yeah, no, that's great.
Every
No,
Friday
speak
we
to
try
James
to
and
do
he'll
that.
pass it on to me. Yeah,
No problem.
no worries, guys. God bless. See
All
you
right,
later.
take care, Danny.
Cheers, Danny.
Cheers, mate.
Bye, mate.
Bye bye. Yeah, look, I understand. Right, ownership's right a very difficult thing. Me and James, of course, have been there. We've seen our club nearly go out of business. Tequila's seen the rough times as well under the Sugar End ownership. Then ENIC and Levy took over. Then you had Martin Yo. Where do both of you sort of go on what do you want from an owner? Do you want a quiet owner just pumps money into the club like Jack Walker, who cares about the club, who loves the club, who wants nothing but the best for the club? And you may see that with Man City. They seem to care about Man City. They seem that they don't, whatever they do. But then there's owners like the Glazers who don't give a shit about the club, who let them run into the ground.
Dermo, the owner you're talking about, I don't think it exists for right now, because I think you've given a great example of somebody who was maybe the last of the kind of dying breed, which was Jack Walker. The truth is that none of the three options, let's say these are our options, we stick with ENIC, right? Or we roll the dice and go with Qatar, or we roll the dice and go with Americans. None of them are Spurs fans. Oh, this Vivian's a Spurs fan. That's my reply to that. That's my reply. You spoke. Yeah, I forgot you're on. They're almost on first name basis with her.
And Charlie.
And Charlie. So I'm not convinced any of them are going to be that Jack Walker where they care so much about the DNA of Spurs. Do I believe that they will all want to win? Yeah, both for financial reasons. I'd like to believe also they want their teams to do well out of respect. But this whole caring about Tottenham and preserving Tottenham, which I know Dermo, especially you, care so much about. Statues and naming naming parts of the stadium after all of our ex-legends that the ENIC and Levy, or ENIC, I'll just use ENIC now, have never given two hells about. And that won't change all of a sudden, right? But don't think for a second that some Americans coming in are going to care either, because they won't, and neither will some people from Qatar. So that owner you want, I don't think exists.
No, it doesn't.
That Jack Walker who's really going to have the absolute best interests and nothing more about Tottenham. I wish there was. I wish I could give you someone. Unless there's a billionaire out there that none of us know about who's a Spurs fan, who's looking to write some money off, then that person doesn't exist. So then it's just a simple decision where, where do you want to throw your chips down?
Well, I think the three of us should put our money together, go and buy Tottenham. Me and James had this conversation the other night. Yeah. Jimmy James, did you buy that Euro Millions ticket, by the way? He knows what I'm on about.
I did.
Look,
I'll tell Tequila because it's a funny story. So I was on my way home last night, Tequila, and I was walking down and I found 15 quid on the floor.
Nice.
I bent down. I saw the tenner on the floor, and I bent down and picked it up. And as I bent down and picked it up, when I saw the fiver, I was like, "Oh yeah, I'll have that as well." It was like a little Brucey bonus on my way home yesterday. It was. And Dermo says I need to go out and buy some tickets, some lottery tickets. So I went out and bought a couple of Euro Millions tickets. I haven't checked numbers yet.
He may become a millionaire live on air.
That would be great.
Yeah.
Look. James knows all what's happening, so I'm going to let you get everyone up to date what is happening. As I said, legally, I can't say nothing for my source. We're under an NDA, so I cannot say anything, as James knows. James is what's he doing now?
I'm looking for the voice that's telling me I can tell something. I can say something. I'm tied up as well, Dermo. Look, I said backstage when we were talking briefly.
Yeah,
I'm in the same NDA. I've got an NDA with the guy that we use for channel wise, and I've got an NDA on myself from my individual source. Look, I can tell you what I think's going to happen, but as regards to what is happening, I'm tied. I'm kind of in a little bit of a bind, but there was
something in there. Sorry, James, got to put this out. Sorry, there was something in there. I want you to answer this first. Naming rights. But we can't have naming rights because we're hosting games in Euro 2028. So how does that work out?
Right. So I actually know a little bit about this. So, regarding the naming rights, yes, we can name our stadium. We can have it. Please don't think this is what it's going to be. So say it became the Google Tottenham Stadium, for instance, right? It's not going to become the Google Tottenham Stadium, but I'm using it as an example, right? So say it became the Google Tottenham Stadium, right? When it comes to Euro 28, and when it comes to Euro 28 and thingy, it would only ever be referred to as the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium, and all the naming, say it was branded on the outside of the stadium, that would have to be covered or taken down temporarily. So, yes, we can be named, our stadium can be named, but it sort of has to be done in a way where it can be taken down and only referred to as the Tottenham Stadium versus Euro 2028. Erwin, I'm sorry. Look, times are hard. There's a worldwide recession going on, brother. I'm sorry. I should have handed it into police. But hey, you know what? That was Iceman. Sorry, that was Iceman, not Erwin.
Erwin's saying you're his best mate. Don't forget him.
Listen, if I win Euro Millions and it's
draw a number,
million,
draw a number, Erwin. We'll be knocking on James's door.
Yeah.
If I win 128 million, every channel member, this is it. In fact, actually, right, if I win the jackpot, every person who is a member,
someone record this, someone.
I am taking us all on a cruise. So to pick up your membership for a chance, if James wins the Euro Millions, to go on a round the world cruise. There we go. I've said it live on air.
If he wins a fiver, then it's all down to the chippy for 99 for £1 chips each, one big bag.
Get a penny,
one big bag of
sweet.
chips.
Penny
sweet.
Penny sweet.
But pick up your memberships for a chance to go on a round the world tour if James wins the Euro Millions. There you go. Can't be any further than that.
Look, what I don't like about this, right, is I look at Chelsea, right. You look at Liverpool, they're run correctly, right? They're run right. You look at Chelsea and Todd Bowley and his consortium. Yeah. Do you really want that at Spurs, Tequila and James? Do you really want that madness, that sort of every transfer window, we're going to buy 58 players and Thomas Frank's going to have a squad of 100 and trying to keep everyone happy? Because you look at Cole Palmer coming off against Manchester United when he was substituted. He looked really peed off. Do you really want that?
I think I would be annoyed if what was it that he played? 28 minutes?
Yeah.
Something like that. I would be asking, what on earth did I do so wrong after 28 minutes that warrants you taking me off?
Yeah, but that can't be blamed on Bowley. That's the manager's decision, unless Bowley's running making those football decisions. You'd like to hope not. That's the manager's decision. I mean, you got to look at okay, right. So, but if you ask Chelsea fans, one of my best friends is a Chelsea fan. At the start, he wasn't happy with him, but recently, the last season and a half, they actually don't mind it because they have actually gotten back into the top four. Now they're not going to win a title, not this year, probably anytime soon. But they've moved forward again after spending 3 seasons or whatever it was, kind of out of the Champions League, whatever it was. So they have moved it back. And yeah, they've got too many players, but they've also got a pretty good team. I'm not being funny. They've got a better team than we do. Especially a first team.
I don't agree, Tequila. I'm sorry.
You honestly think that Chelsea have a worse team than Spurs?
I think we've got far better players than Chelsea have. I think we've got far better defenders than Chelsea. Our back five is more solid than Chelsea.
We finished 17th last year, mate. They finished.
Yeah,
4th.
we played with a manager that didn't want to defend. But if you look at players individually, I think Romero's a better player. I think Van der Ven's a better player. I think Porro's a better player. I think Jed Spence is becoming a better player. I think Palunia is a better player. I think Bentacle, once he gets his contract sorted out, is a better player. Yes, I grant you, we need a striker. yes, we need a better squad, but I think individually we have better players than some Chelsea players. Individually,
James, you've heard me and Dermo. You need to back one of us.
Okay, so
I know who's going to back. So I fight alone. I will fight alone.
Right? No, right. So in some of what you're saying, Dermo, I agree. Right? Some players that we have would walk into the Chelsea team, and improve that team. But you're talking maybe, if you looked at our squad as a whole, as Spurs squad as a whole, you could probably 4, 5 players at the most who we've got now. 4 or 5 players at the most would go into that Chelsea team.
Yeah.
Whereas you look at Chelsea's squad as a whole, and you could quite easily say 7 players in Chelsea's squad could quite easily improve Spurs' team.
Yeah.
So I'm not sitting on the fence. But I agree, some of our players could go into the Chelsea team. But I think Chelsea's squad, yes, although very bloated, they have great squad depth. They have 2 or 3 players that can cover every position, and those 2 or 3 players are world-class players. Well, maybe not world-class players, but superstar players, top-notch players. I'm not saying the likes of Jed Spence or Destiny Udogie or Pedro Porro or anybody is in our team is not a top quality player. They are. But you take them out of our team, you take Destiny Udogie, Romero, Van de Ven away from our team, and our backups are very, very light.
Yeah, I agree. I think squad-wise, yes, Chelsea better, but I think Chelsea are a bit of a one-man team. I think if Cole Palmer doesn't play and play well, Chelsea are not as good as a side with him. Once he plays, do you know what I'm trying to say? I agree. Our squad needs to be better. I agree, and I agree that we could do better. But if you look at our back 5, you look at Palunia, if you look at certain players, I think they are far better. When you look at Chelsea, that manager has so much of a struggle every Saturday to keep every ego happy. Do you know? And Thomas Frank has the size of what? 33, 35, 36 man squad.
Yeah.
So there is different. Listen, I've got to drop off. Yeah, I've got to go in a few minutes because I'm on the agenda. So I'm leaving the channel in the man who's taken my place, who's now taken over the channel. Hostile takeover.
It's not hostile, Dermot. There was no hostility. There was no hostility in it. I did what AI is doing to the world. I did it quietly. I did it tactfully. And
James is Skynet. James is Skynet. We heard it.
Is that it?
Yeah.
I'll be very careful, being Skynet, by the way.
Why? Sarah Connor going to come get me.
I'll tell you later. About it. James is not an AI, in case anyone's watching this thinking James is an AI. He's not. He is a proper human being. Well, we're not sure about Tequila because we're thinking he
That's what you think.
I'm a hologram. You've told you guys before. I'm just a hologram.
Are you?
Yep.
Yeah.
That's why there's no video.
Yeah. Right. One question before I go. Will the takeover happen? Yes or no?
I plead the 5th.
I have no. I would have thought not quite yet. I think in your mate Vivian might want to give it a shot before failing or succeeding.
Yeah,
she might want to give it. She might want to give it a shot.
Vivian was talking very highly of you, Tequila. She thought you were lovely. She said that she's going to take you out for a steak dinner.
I'll take one for the team, guys. Yeah, I'll take one for the team.
Right, James.
Okay, let me rephrase, Dermo, just before you go. Let me rephrase it. Instead of pleading the 5th, I will give you an answer. Will the takeover happen? yes, there is going to be a takeover at some point.
Look, can I just say, how long did we say this, by the way? Before I go, how long ago did we break this? A takeover will happen.
At least near enough 9 months.
Dermo, James didn't say a takeover will happen soon. He just said a takeover will happen. So that he's completely covered his backside.
Yeah, I know he did. I know what he did. But the point I'm making is the three of us did say 9 months ago there was a takeover happening. And everyone laughed at us. Everyone called us we're just clickbaiting. Yeah. We're not. But guys, I'm leaving the show to you, which I know I can trust the pair of you with my life. Guys, I am back tomorrow. I'm on We on Tottenham TV tomorrow, so come and join me over We on Tottenham TV. I know Tequila will be sending. If you do come in, put THFC raid, then I know it's you. So I'm on there from 6. I'm on 6 o'clock tomorrow on We on Tottenham TV. James and Tequila, I'll let you carry on. What are you going to talk about, guys? So, what you got planned?
Not sure. What we going to talk about? We're going to talk
I don't know. We'll probably talk about you, Dermo, because you're going.
Yeah,
thanks.
Yeah.
Right, yeah. Just
we'll be lamenting your abandonment of the ship.
Well, I do apologise.
We'll talk about the Chelsea players who are better than the Spurs players, and then
that's what we'll talk about.
So you're going to basically do Chelsea till I die show then?
Well, no, we're not going to do Chelsea till I die. We're going to just do a Chelsea players who would walk into the Spurs team, and then we'll tell you every Chelsea player that we think could walk into the Spurs team just to wind you up.
There was a news today that the Premier League rights could be going to Netflix as well. There was the rights up that Netflix and Paramount could be getting. That'd be
great. I've already got Netflix, so I'll be able to watch the show. I'll watch it much easier.
So look, there is a conversation I want to have with you guys about Premier League football. Should clubs do their own, like you pay for a season ticket for a whole year games live? So, I think that's
I'll tell you what. The current quickly, Dermo. The current football model is what, as Simon Jordan he's bang on. It's well out of date. The current football model in England is well out of date.
It is
the Sky Sports, and well out of date. It should all be based on. It's all be streaming, and you'll be able to stream every match you want to watch for a yearly fee, like you said. That's the future,
right? I'm going to bugger off, so discuss, lads. Hit your memberships. It's there. Grab your memberships. 99 cents, 99p. Do not miss out. And also
You might be coming on around the world tour.
Yeah, on that bombshell, I'm pissing off. See you tomorrow, lads, and let you carry on.
Demo. There we go. I'll kick him out for him. Save him trying to struggling along. I'll just boot him out. Oh dear. So my mate Danny, big Danny Rose fan. That's the lad who went down to the game. I was trying to get onto the show when we were doing
the half time. Yeah.
He's a good lad. He does love football.
It is interesting to always hear an outsider when it comes to Spurs, how they view Spurs from the outside. How they look at like Ange, just like it's like I wonder, using Ange as an example. I do wonder what his perception is from other fans. The Forest fans were mixed. A lot of them didn't want him over Nuno, and a lot of them are like, he's gonna win us something, which he could. He's got a track record of winning cups. There's no getting around that. I can't dispute that, but it's interesting to hear that.
Yeah, it is, and it's like he said he always wins something in his second season. So I mean, it don't look good for Europa League this year for him because he didn't win out in his first season.
They're out the Carling Cup as well, so that just gives him the FA Cup and.
I can't see him winning Premier League. Yeah, because I can't see him winning league.
No.
Because it's one of those, isn't it? Is not going to miraculously change this style of play. It's certainly going to be interesting when Forest come to Tottenham.
Do the fans boo him or not?
What the Spurs fans' reception of him is going to be like.
I think they'll cheer him. I'm not sure I would. I'm not sure I would personally. That's me. But I think I don't know if I'd see. I don't know if I'd boo him. I think I just wouldn't do anything. That would be me.
Yeah.
I wouldn't cheer or boo. But I think the fans will most likely cheer him. I think.
Yeah, he did lift us a European trophy, and I think some of the fan base is it's certainly split into regarding Big Ange on whether or not he was right to be sacked or he shouldn't have been sacked at all. And it is, I think we represent sort of a three that believe that it was right for him to go. Like myself, you, Derma, we believe it was right for him to go. But I think for us,
it took some convincing for Dermo to come to that. I mean, for me, it was pretty easy because I had no bias going into it because I'm not particularly a Celtic fan. So I didn't have any predetermined notions going in one way or the other. Whereas Dermo obviously came into it really liking him already. So of course, this isn't me knocking Dermo. Everyone would be like it. He went into it with a notion already that I like him already. So he already kind of decided. For me, I looked at it as a blank slate, as I think some fans did as well. There were some fans who I remember when we hired him, they were like, some fans were like, who?
Yeah.
Who's this guy?
Who is he, and what's he going to do for us? We've gone from hiring big name managers to hiring fundamentally an unknown manager, really. In regards to the Premier League, I mean, Antonio Conte.
Yeah, I mean, most of Ange's career, obviously, he was in Asia, wasn't he? Australia, and those leagues.
Yeah.
Quickly getting on to a little bit about the Chelsea Spurs thing. So I think Spurs. You said 4. I think maybe the 2 centre halves.
Yeah.
And Kudos. I struggle with anyone else.
Simmons? Or have you not seen enough from him?
Not seen enough of him yet. To maybe Simmons, but I've not seen enough of him yet. I could even say I've seen Kudos, but I've seen a lot more of Kudos, obviously, at West Ham. So, especially during his first season, I know that he's a very good player. Second season, he dropped off a bit, and then he started Spurs. He's been pretty good for us so far. Not world beating, but pretty good.
Is that a solid start?
A solid start, yeah. And also because in my opinion, he's playing with 1 or 2 donkeys up front. He is kind of standing out a bit more because it's like, oh, yeah, this is the difference, guys. We've seen somebody who's good and having Richarlison and, with all due respect, Odebear or Johnson. There's a gulf, isn't there? There's a difference between Kudos and all those players I've just mentioned, and you can see the gulf. You can see the gulf with Simmons. I think he is on a similar level to Kudos. I need to see a little bit more, but
yeah. I think he just needs time to settle into his surroundings, into the team that's around him, how Thomas Frank wants to play, how he fits into Thomas Frank's system. I think there's a few things that need to be. He just needs to get settled with before we start to see sort of Xavi Simmons at his best. But I've liked what I've seen from Kudos. I would be interested to see how Thomas Frank's going to line us up when Kulusevski comes back. Is he, because he's been using Simmons out on the left, is he then thinking, okay, I'll play Kudos out on the right, Simmons out on the left, and I can put Kulusevski as the 10?
I mean, I think if Maddison hadn't got injured, I'm not sure we'd even have Simmons. But that part aside, if Maddison hadn't got injured, I think that right in my mind, Maddison is the 10, and then Simmons on the left, Kudos on the right. I think that's the pretty obvious first 11. I'm not sure who you put as a striker. I suppose Solanke, I guess. So I'm not sure where Kulu. I think Kulu, and this is not his fault because he can play. Although I don't particularly like him on the wing, he can do a shift there. He can play as a 10. He can do a shift there. He's even played up front. And you know what? He might be more of a goal threat than Richarlison's ever been.
Yeah,
when it comes to playing up front. And as he saw under Ange, he can also play as an 8 on occasion.
Yeah.
So he might find, unfortunately for him, that he is shuffled all around when everyone's fit. I don't know how happy he'll be, but I can easily see that he'll start a lot of games because there's always going to be an injury, always going to be a suspension, right? And he can cover 3 or 4 positions. But do you think you start him over any of those 3 players if everyone's fit? Do you start him over Maddison as a 10? Do you start him on the wings over Simmons and Kudos? Because I'm not sure you do.
No, I'd struggle to. I would struggle to put them. If with Maddison being fit, I would struggle to put Decky in front of Maddison as a 10 because Maddison is a natural 10.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I agree with what you're saying. With regards to, I can see him being the sort of utility man, is how I would put it. Shuffling about, let's say, shifts up front, shifts as the 8, coming on to maybe play out on the wing, either like as on the right or through the middle as a 10 if Maddison or Kudos are flagging a little bit. So it kind of gives us a little bit of strength in depth up front.
He can cover 5. James, he can cover 5 positions. Not many players around that can cover 5 positions. He can cover pretty much every attacking option we've got. And like I say, and an 8 because he also puts in the defensive side of the game as well, which lets him play as an 8 as well. I mean, you're not going to play him as a defensive midfielder or anything, but anywhere in the second half of the pitch, he can be decent. Maybe not excel, maybe as much as maybe the players have mentioned, but he can put a shift in every one of those positions.
It'd be a solid substitute, wouldn't it? Really, when you think about it.
I don't think. I mean, do you? Only Gunnar Solskjaer, if you remember him, had that reputation of a super sub, and he had that for his whole career because that's what his role was. Do you think someone like Kulu's going to be like, yeah, mate, I'll be the sub. I'll come on every game, but I'm only going to get 30 minutes every game because I'm going to come on at the 60-minute mark in one of 5 positions because I can play everywhere.
It's going to be one of those where is he going to be happy taking that role, isn't it, really? And I don't see him being very happy taking that role. So is it then where we're going to risk losing by signing these players? Are we going to risk? Are we risking losing him to another team? I mean, at the moment, he's under a good contract. We've got a good contract on him. I think he's got 4 years left on his current deal. So it's not like he's going to go on the cheap. It's something where we could command a decent transfer fee for him if he was to leave. So yeah, but it's one of those, isn't it? It's a tough one to sort of see how he fits in.
Would you choose him? Let's analyze this a bit more, right? So we've kind of agreed that he wouldn't start over Maddison and the 2 wingers.
Yeah.
Going beyond that, let's say there's a suspension or an injury, like I say, which there will always be something, right? Very rarely do you get to play your first 11 week in, week out. There's always an injury or something or a suspension. Something happens often. Is he the best backup in all those positions? So let's say Solanke's injured. Do you choose him over Richarlison? I'm guessing that the answer is now. I'm not saying I think I might, but I'm assuming Frank probably would still say no. Richarlison, if Solanke's injured, Richarlison, that's it. He comes in. On the wings, it's a bit more difficult. Do you think he'll see? Let's say Kudos is injured, right? Do you put Johnson there, or do you say no? Johnson's nowhere near. Kulu's better in that position than Johnson is. Even though Kulu's not a de facto winger, he's more creative than Johnson is. You might not get the goals, maybe that Johnson will. right? They won't get the tap-ins like Johnson get. But this is what I mean: is does Kulusevski as the backup, is he the second choice for all of those positions I've mentioned, or is it no? Tell's the backup. Tell's ahead of Kulu. Tell will do a better job than Kulu will as a backup for Kudos or as a backup for Simmons.
Well, I mean, you know very well, Tequila. It's like I was singing when we signed Matisse Tell on loan, and everybody was sort of a bit doubtful. I was singing his praises and being his advocate. Very much like Dermo is with Brennan Johnson. I was extremely disappointed with Matisse Tell again on Wednesday against Doncaster Rovers. I think he had 2 golden opportunities.
Yeah, you were unhappy. I remember you were unhappy,
and he fluffed his lines. Basically, it was a big opportunity for him, and he fluffed his lines. So for me, I would say Kulu is definitely ahead of Tell. In regards to that,
is he ahead of Odegaard? Do you put Odegaard?
Oh yeah, no, he's definitely better than Odegaard. He's a more. I think he's more tactically astute, more stronger than Odegaard. I don't think Odegaard's a bad player, but I think Odegaard's
needs a loan is what Odegaard needs.
Yeah, I think he does. And I think the only reason why he didn't go out on loan in the summer is the lack of squad depth that we had because of the injuries we've got. I think if we get the players back in January and we have a more fit squad in January, I can see Odegaard going out on loan for the second half of the season.
That's a good shout. Yeah, I could see him in January. Yeah. Yeah. So it's like I think I agree with you mostly. I think Kulu is the backup. I think he is the best choice to replace those players you mentioned. Should one of them get injured, I don't know if that tells you how much our squad is lacking in the forward areas. Maybe that tells you.
Yeah. But I tell you one player that we didn't actually include in all that. I know we've only got him on loan at the moment. Is Mwani as well, Randall Cole Mwani. We've not seen him really.
It's hard, isn't it? It's hard to know where you stand with him because he just hasn't.
He's had this dead leg. I mean, it's funny. I was talking to Colm about it. I says, to me, I have a dead leg, and an hour or two after having my dead leg, it goes away. Yeah,
it is a bit. Do you think? I mean, I'm not big on conspiracy theories, right? So I don't know what the motivation would be behind this. Do you think maybe, I know that France culture-wise isn't the other end of the spectrum as other places from England, but you just think like he's moving to London, got to acclimatise, got to find a place to live, all these things, and I know the club has this. They already have this in place, don't they? When they've got people who work for the club who will find people somewhere to live. But we heard the stories about Conte living out of a hotel.
Yeah.
For his more or less most of his Spurs. I mean, no wonder the guy wanted to go. No wonder the guy wanted to go home if the dude was living in a hotel. So my point is that maybe, I mean, we don't know. Some people will adapt better. Maybe he's personally a little bit like, I'm struggling here, mate. Can you give me a couple of weeks to?
Yeah,
on my feet.
Nope. I'll tell you what I also think as well. I mean, this might be just me, and I'm not saying this is true. Yes, he was out. He didn't play much at the first half of last season for Paris Saint-Germain. He then went out on loan in January to Juventus. He did play quite a few games, but not every game for Juventus. And then he went back to Paris, wasn't involved in their pre-season whatsoever. He gets a very, very late move to Tottenham on deadline day.
Yeah.
How do we know what this guy's fitness levels are? Thomas Frank might say, no, he's got a dead leg because he's dead on his legs, because he's training and he's blowing out of his arse. Do you know what I mean? He's just not fully fit.
Do you think there may be, again, I'm not going to put my conspiracy theory hat on, but do you think maybe that there could be a more serious injury and Spurs don't want to say it because it makes them look stupid that we signed a player who might have had a bit more of a serious injury and he can't play for the first couple of months? Do you know what I mean? Is it a saving face thing maybe from Spurs? Like, the truth is maybe, okay, he's not fit. it's going to take us a couple of months to get this guy to actually play, as crazy as it sounds. But let's not kind of say that, because it makes us look like we panicked,
idiots.
which is kind of what we had, which is kind of what we did.
Yeah,
but they don't want to come across that way.
Yeah, I think that could be a good shout, Tequila. Yeah, absolutely, could be a good shout. I mean, like I say, I guess we'll never know on that one. With regards to until he starts playing, and when we start to actually see him out on the pitch and see what he's actually all about.
It's hard to analyze him right now. So I have kind of left him out for that reason, because I'm not sure what to make of him. So I'm just gonna act like he's not there. But by all means, if he comes in and can fill any of those gaps, be it as a striker, because I consider Richarlison quite a poor, so I think he could easily insert himself to compete with Solanke for the first choice, number 9.
Yeah.
Without having to be a world beater. I mean, as long as he's pretty good and doesn't have to be a world beater, I think that he can easily make that. He can compete with Solanke.
Yeah.
That's
I think so too. I think so too.
All right.
Right, I think
okay, mate.
I think that's about us for tonight. Nice way to end it. It's been a pleasure speaking to you again, Tequila.
You too, mate.
As always. Again, guys, thanks very much for joining us for tonight's show. Please pick up your subscriptions. Please pick up your memberships. Hit the like, shares, do whatever. Hit the little bell on YouTube so you never miss a show when we go live or we post our shows. And thanks very much for joining us tonight.
Yeah, and mate, thanks for having us again. And we'll be around next time. And so join us for more Thomas Frank's. What does Dermo say? Thomas Frank's going to take it to the march to the promised land and all stuff like that. Yeah, look, I can't do it. That's not my personality at all. So
no, I struggle with that one as well. Let's just leave it as, what is it that Big Ange used to say, Tequila?
Oh, I don't know. He had so many quotes, didn't he?
Yeah.
Oh, now I remember, isn't it? Okay. It's just who we are, mate.